Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. I am becoming incredibly tired of having to make several of these videos, and I realize I'm probably going to have to make them for a long time until this problem of racial injustice in America and Canada and Britain and Australia, until this comes to an end. I'm probably going to be doing this for a long time. So today we're talking about Casey Goodson Jr., a 23-year-old black man who was murdered by US Marshals on December 4th. Now, apparently, according to the Marshals, they claim he was driving down the street waving a gun, and at some point after, the deputy confronted him and it went badly. At least, that's what they claim. Here's the kicker. He wasn't the fugitive they were looking for. It was someone else, but they still thought, oh, well, he kind of fits the description, and I'm guessing he was uppity, and the Marshals didn't like that. Want to know how Casey Goodson died? Going into his own house. Or, no, maybe he was coming from the dentist, or he was going into the dentist. Either way, he's entering a building, be it the dentist or his home, and he's got lunch in his hand, and he's shot in the back 3 times. And this wasn't some rookie cop. This was a veteran of 17 years on the force who had been permanently assigned to work with US Marshals. And this was a case of mistaken identity, and yet there still was a confrontation, and somehow this meant death was the logical outcome, according to these cops. You know, I get that this is limited information to go off of, so we shouldn't do the kind of all or nothing mentality. But from what we do know, this is still pretty goddamn egregious. And beyond that, it's yet another instance of cops being judge, jury, and executioner, which is not what cops are supposed to do. Cops are supposed to, quote unquote, keep the peace. They aren't supposed to execute prisoners on behalf of the state. Just putting that out there. Whether someone is innocent or not, barring a definite threat to the cops, lethal force isn't justified. Talk to military people. They'll tell you about the various levels of escalation that happen. You know, oh, a car is coming. They're not slowing down. Try and signal them. Oh, they're still not responding. Okay, pop smoke. Oh, still not responding. Okay, warning shot. Still not responding. Then you go for lethal shots. And yet, you know, here we are with supposedly all the best funding that, you know, cops could ever ask for, all the best equipment, and yet here they are with apparently all their training saying, well, you know, in the heat of a moment, it's just I feared for my life. He feared for his life from a guy with a Subway sandwich walking into a place, whether it was the dentist's office or his own house, as he's turning away, keys in one hand, lunch in the other. America has a problem, and it needs to be addressed. And yet I'm afraid that now that Joe Biden has been elected, I wonder if the same number of people are going to show up in the streets and demand justice. And I hope they do. And then I hope they realize that even with the election of Joe Biden, the problems remain. The problems that allowed Trump to come to the forefront still remain. And people like Casey Goodson Jr. are still unfortunately paying the price for America's racist problem that they haven't had a soulful reckoning with yet. This continues to the present day. And over the course of this 1 year, I've lost count of how many people. I know there's George Floyd. I know there's Breonna Taylor. I know there was Jacob Blake. And I know there's Casey here. And I know there's at least a few others that I remember hearing about, and I can't remember, and that pisses me off. That there are too many black victims of violence that continue, and victims of police brutality that continues to this day, and I can't remember them all, and that angers me. That infuriates me. That fills me with a sense of righteous fury, anger, and guilt that I just can't put into words. And the fact that this continues to this day, and that I'm going to have to make videos like this for a long ass time, is absolutely what's bothering me today.